Hi, Robin of Oxy-Dry, and here I am doing the final step on this carpet. It's really turned out very well, as usual. I mentioned when I was doing this closet that I was going to do the corners with the doodlebug, which I did, and so that's taken care of. That cleaned up pretty darn well. There's the doodlebug right there. You can buy these at janitorial stores, by the way, janitorial supply stores. It's just basically a flat paddle with Velcro, and you can buy these microfiber pads, or you can actually put a fiber pad on there too. They have a fiber, or you can cut one up out of your own pads there. You can buy the ones made for it. Anyway, so there we go. So let's do the grooming step. I just raised the brush slightly there. So one of the reasons that I prefer this vacuum over, say, a Pro Team is that it does have an adjustment for the height of the brush. And the Pro Team, which is it's an older design actually, it doesn't have any adjustment. The brush just is preset, and it's designed to sort of just float on the carpet. It's actually a compromise. This type of vacuum with an adjustment gives you more control over the brush relation to the carpet fiber. And for some carpets, you want to raise the head up and have the brush not as aggressive into the carpet, especially the longer, thicker, plusher carpets. That gives you a little more precise control over the way things are working on the carpet. It works better. Actually, this vacuum has more power as well, and it's actually made in the USA, which I think is a good thing. They're actually cheaper, and I have found that the quality of the overall design, the quality of it stands up better to wear and tear. I used Pro Teams for years, and then they just started falling apart. I know a lot of guys like them, but you know, we each have our own preferences. Some guys like to use the old sanitaires, which definitely have a lot of power, but you don't have any edging ability with that. You have to have either you ignore the edges, which I guess a lot of guys do, or you have to have a separate vacuum for doing your edge detailing. And you know, it's whatever you prefer, I guess. But I like this vacuum. I used Kirby's for a while. I do carry one with me all the time because there's some things that'll do that this won't do, like a really, really long pile carpet. Everyone has, it's like everything else, it has its advantages and disadvantages. And anyway, that's looking very, very nice. Yeah. Oh shoot, I gotta switches over here. Yeah, they were saying that, the lady was telling me that she's lived in this house for 23 years. It's a nice house, all one level. So that's nice. Like our house is one level. We lived in a townhouse. Oh, that was at least 15 years ago now, I guess. And did not like that. 3 levels in a townhouse complex. Didn't like that. Strata Nazis. Thou shalt not park in the front of your place for more than 5 minutes. And other things like that. Yeah, I didn't like that. That didn't go over very well. But we did at least. It was one of the rare ones in there that actually had a garage. Most of them didn't. So I had a garage to put my van in, which was nice. And my wife's car, there was a parking spot also that we had in the front of the place. So that part was good for us. We stayed there. Had to stay there for a year. Didn't like it. Almost bought it. And decided, no, this isn't the right thing for us. And then we went and lived in an apartment which actually we liked. I think we were there a couple of years. And we went from there to our new house. Is that right? Yeah, I guess. Yes, of course it is. Yeah. Interesting. Which, well, that new house we bought in 2004. And it was because of the business that we were able to do that. It had a big fire came through Kelowna. A bunch of houses, like over 200 I think, were burnt down. Many others were smoke damage, etc. And we ended up doing a lot of work for a few different insurance companies. And what our primary task was at that time was we mostly were doing the leather cleaning for them, for 2 or 3 restoration companies. So we were getting really good dollar for what we were doing. And Linda and I, we worked together at that time. She was on the vehicle with me. She worked with me for about at least 3 years or so, I think. But it was physically hard on her. I just felt that it just wasn't the best for her, and so I said, you should. Well, things changed, I guess, and it was after that we moved to Manitoba briefly. That was a disaster. My bad. Anyway, we came back, and then it was when we had to do some real changes to how we were operating. And one of the things we did is we switched we had an answering service back then, and the prices were just seemed to keep going up and up and up. And then they sold out to a big company, and then the price just skyrocketed for the phone answering. And it's like, oh boy, we can't do this anymore. It was hundreds of dollars a month all of a sudden. And then we said, okay, we can't do that anymore. And that's when I said, okay, Linda, why didn't you answer the phone? And she was hesitant to do that, obviously, because she figured that she would be dealing with challenging things, and she was. But I wrote out a script for her. She was willing to do it, so I wrote out a script for her, which she followed for about maybe a week. And then she said, I'm going to say it my own way. And she did. And she learned. And she became very good at answering the questions for people and dealing with them. And, she's really been my, I would call her my secret weapon. Because, rather than the phone going to voicemail, and that sort of thing, you know, my wife is actually almost always able to answer the phone immediately and talk to people, and that makes a big difference. And I often get comments from people about how pleasant an experience it is. It's just being able to talk to somebody on the phone directly, and she's very pleasant on the phone. She actually used to be a receptionist anyway, so she certainly had the, you know, some degree of experience anyway. And besides that, you just be yourself. And be pleasant. If there's questions that come up that she doesn't know the answer to, and they do occasionally, she'll just text me or get me to call the customer or whatever, and it's not a problem. And so it's worked out really well for us. So she answers the phone and schedules the jobs, and she's very good at that, and she gets to tell me where to go. And that's fine. We have a shared goal and a shared vision for the business, and we work at it together, and it just works out really well. Oh, I see a couple of spots there. Is that there to remind me? I'll come back to that in a few minutes with a spotter towel, which I don't have with me at the moment. It's at the door, but I'll keep vacuuming for now. You can see over here the carpet is actually very much faded out. It's almost white, so the color is pretty much gone over here from the light coming in the glass door here, obviously. You can really see the color much more obviously right here where the bed was sitting. 23 years is a long time for a carpet. Again, you can see the, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, the scratch mark from the Grandy groomer is pretty obvious actually. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm gonna have to go back in there in a minute and groom again because I got to go in there and put that shelf together. But anyway, pretty much done otherwise. Another successful clean of this 23-year-old carpet. All right, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.